I'm going to start off this video with saying Modern Warfare 2 does have movement to use and abuse. Whether you believe it or not, I'm here to change your mind. I'm going to be giving you guys sort of a movement guide to help you improve and understand how to really use these mechanics, from jump shotting to drop shotting to even dolphin diving. Let's get right into the video. And for the first thing we're going to be talking about is jump shotting. So in Modern Warfare 2, jump shotting was nerfed a bit, and by that they removed the bunny hop. And the bunny hop was a very advanced technique, but it was also very good. In Modern Warfare 2, you do want to engage most of the time with a jump shot. Jump shotting is going to be your best friend. It's going to be your source of cameraing people. If you don't know what cameraing is, it's basically jumping around a corner very quickly and challenging your opponent and catching them off guard and essentially getting that peeker's advantage. So if you ever see the pros play or any good players play, they are jump shotting a lot, because without a slide cancel and with the TTK being so fast in Modern Warfare 2, well, your only best friend is to do something like that, is to jump shot around a corner. So essentially, the main time you want to jump shot is around corners. If you do this, if you peek someone here, you run away, and then you guess what? You jump shot into the fight. Ironically, there was someone somehow there. Jump shotting is a slightly slower ADS. If you jump shot ADS, it is slightly slower than just regular ADS. It does have a little bit of delay. And the key to this is you want to ADS while jumping. Jump ADS, jump ADS. You want to ADS mid-air. You want to ADS before you even around the corner, like this. That way, when you're already around the corner, you're already aimed at your target and you can shoot. Now, this doesn't mean you can't jump shot mid gunfights. Jump shotting mid gunfights is still valuable, and it is good. And if I were to say one thing, I would say jump shotting is going to be your best friend in terms of cameraing people and just movement in general on Modern Warfare 2. It's definitely going to be the one you want to engage with most of the time. Like 90% of the time, you want to engage with a jump shot if you can. If someone is camping a corner or a hard preem like this, well, your number one friend is going to be the jump shot around a corner. But this jumping and pre-aiming before is very key. It's going to be one of the difference makers. If you jump around a corner then ADS midair, you're going to be dead. You remember, you got to pre-fire the jump shot ADS. Now, the infamous drop shot, one of the oldest movement mechanics in Call of Duty, but still actually viable in MW2. One of the biggest things is drop shotting around corners can be very good. If you basically jump shot and pre-fire the drop shot around a corner, you can get some kills. One, people don't expect to check this little corner of any room or building when they're pre-aiming you. So basically, it'll look like this. You want to kind of angle it and time it where by the time you drop, you're peering in their screen versus they kind of see you drop. So you kind of want to crouch then drop around a corner like that, and they're not going to be looking at you. And I've done it against pro players. I've done it against some of the best players in the world. It's going to be your best friend to kill someone maybe camping a corner, like holding the angle on you. And also, even if you're one shot and you just kind of come around the corner like this, you're going to have a better chance. And there's another way to abuse this mechanic a little bit. If you do this and you don't see anything, you strafe around a corner, and now you're gonna appear on the screen out of nowhere, and then you can shoot them. So this movement is very good. On top of that, drop shotting is a little bit slower in MW2. If you just drop shot like how you would normally do it, it is a little bit slower, and they basically kind of nerfed it. But obviously, really quickly, when you drop shot, you want to ADS, drop shot, and shoot. You can start shooting before you even fall down completely to the floor, but basically will look like that, right? ADS, shoot, and start dropping to the floor. That's kind of how you want to utilize a drop shot to the fullest. ADS, start shooting it as you're dropping to the floor. But like I said, it was nerfed, and there is a better way to do it, and it's called essentially the insta drop shot. And the way to do this drop shot, it's very freaking good, and it's actually crazy, is that you want to sprint forward for a second, and then you want to back up and drop. So this is how it's going to look like. Sprint forward, drop shot backwards. Sprint forward, drop shot backwards. And you're gonna notice, one, you're gonna drop slightly faster to the floor than you would just doing this. You see that low drop, but instead you're gonna do this. You can tell the difference. You're dropping on the floor a lot quicker than you would normally. Now, this is a very insane mechanic. It may not look as crazy on my screen, but when I'm doing this, it looks like your body just plops. Now, for the next movement mechanic I'm gonna be talking about is sliding. Now, you can slide cancel in this game. They did nerf it. They did remove it for the most part, but there's still a way to do it. But let's talk about sliding in general first. Is sliding viable? Well, a lot of pros don't really slide, because when you slide, you can't shoot to the end of the slide, which therefore it's not that good. You're kind of a sitting target. Like, you're just kind of with your gun down. You die fast. So you usually never want to use your slide unless it's like to slide away. Sliding, just regular slide, is usually used to disengage, kind of slide behind cover. That's usually the only time you want to use your regular slide, because it's not as OP as it is in this game. but you can do a sort of a slide cancel in Modern Warfare 2. Like I said, it did get nerfed, but it is a way to engage with the slide. And the one tip I will give with this is you want to do it, kind of time it around a corner. So let's say I know this guy's here. I'm going to slide YY challenge. And basically you're going to able to shoot mid slide. And it's going to catch people off guard. They're not always going to expect. They're going to see you sliding around. And they're not going to know that you can shoot your gun right away. But basically what you want to do is you want to YY or triangle, or basically put your swap your guns, but don't commit to the swap. And it's going to look like that. Now, this is mainly good around corners. Like I said, you want to kind of time it. By the time you're around the corner, you're kind of ending the slide and you're able to shoot your gun. Because if you do it too early, then obviously, I mean, it's not going to be that good because you can't shoot immediately yet, right? So you kind of want to time it like that. And I can do it right here, show you one more time, kind of like time it a little bit, and boom. Now, to pair it with that movement, there's also another thing you can do, which is another way how to slide cancel, which is it's harder because it requires something, it requires a semtex, but it is slightly better when it comes to shooting your gun in the slide. So you're basically going to want to slide, pull your semtex out, and then bring it back in, but at a very fast movement. And it's going to look like that. It looks pretty crazy. You can see it's a little bit more responsive with the slide cancel. You can see it's a little bit faster. It's almost like a combo, right? Like a fighting game combo. And this is another way to do it. It is better, but it requires you to have the semtex, and you can't use your semtex. So you got to keep that in mind. But it is a slightly better version of the YY slide cancel. It looks probably pretty crazy in their screen, and it's pretty good. Now for the next one we're going to be talking about is dolphin diving. Now, dolphin diving isn't completely useless. I'm not going to sit here and say I want you to dolphin dive and shoot your gun, because it takes 2 seconds to even get your gun out to be able to shoot. But you can utilize dolphin diving with one, escaping from a nade, a stun, you know, any tacticals. You're able to dive away from it. It's happened to me multiple times where, you know, I get to a spot, I see a nade, and I immediately just dolphin dive away. It's definitely beneficial. It's not completely useless. Or let's say you're pinned down one shot. Let's say they're watching across, you're about to get pushed from the left, you're one shot, you're like, damn, I don't want to do this. You can either slide away, but it can be a little bit slow. Usually dolphin diving can be utilized a little bit more here, so you can just dolphin dive away, and it'll usually save your life most of the time. So that's kind of where dolphin diving comes into play. I will not say here engage with a dolphin dive unless you absolutely have to. Like if a nade comes in, you dolphin dive away, and then like a guy comes in front of you, then obviously you can shoot him and you might have a chance to kill him. But dolphin diving is mainly used to disengage and kind of get behind cover. But it's going to take me to this next bonus tips. So something to note with your tactical sprint, it is going to be your fastest movement. And as you can see, you sprint very, very fast. But the one thing you need to understand in MW2 right now is, one, TTK is so fast that holding a pre-aim can be more beneficial at times unless you hit someone with a nice camera. But it usually doesn't work in this game as much, where you can just kind of run out and just challenge somebody off tactical sprint. So you got to be very cautious while you're tactical sprinting of the gunfights you're choosing and like basically the angles you're taking. Or if not, you're probably going to end up dying. So something I always recommend is, like, again, you could go around a corner, get some information, you know, basically hit a little shimmy or a little shoulder as we call it. And then you can kind of tactical sprint out, or you can jump shot out. One of the last tips of this video is you can reset your tactical sprint 3 different ways. So when you're tactical sprinting, you obviously eventually will run out. If you have double time, you can sprint farther, but you eventually run out. And you start hitting a regular sprint, and it's definitely slower. It doesn't really have much momentum, and you really don't always want to be doing that one. So a way to reset your tactical sprint is, one, by punching the air as soon as it runs out. You basically just hit the melee, boom. You're able to full tactical sprint again. You hit the melee, you're able to tactical sprint again. And you can say this is a way to maneuver around the map if you're trying to rotate somewhere wide or hit something fast. That way you're not just sitting at the normal sprint. Another way to do this is dolphin diving. When you're sprinting and you're about to run out your tactical sprint, about every 2 to 3 seconds, you want to dolphin dive. This is going to also reset your tactical sprint, and it's going to allow you to sprint farther. The good thing about the dolphin dive is, like, well, you're not punching the air, you're actually moving forward, which is nice. And I do like the dolphin dive. It's just another way to do it. And for the last way you can do this, it's called the ADS spam. But for this one, I think you need to have automatic tactical sprint on to work. So basically, you're going to want to maneuver around the map, and you're going to want to spam your ADS. And this one is kind of crazy. One, you're kind of ready for a gunfight and have your gun up at all times. But two, this thing is unlimited. With the dolphin dive and the punching, you kind of have to stop completely to, like, kind of utilize them. With this one, you just spam ADS pretty often. You don't always have to spam it, but you do kind of have, like, you have to be careful, because if you don't do it well enough, it will remove your tactical sprint. So you do kind of have to spam it a little bit, but you literally can hit the unlimited tactical sprint forever, which is pretty funny and pretty cool at the same time that this is even a thing. But honestly, I mean, when a game where pre-aiming helps and pre-aiming is very important, use it. Another OP mechanic in Modern Warfare 2 is called snaking, and it's utilizing the drop shot and doing it very quickly. But basically is you want to prone and go back up and lean and do this, basically move forward with your automatic tactical sprint, or you just sprint forward and prone and just go back and keep doing it over and over again. This makes you a very hard target, and you're also allowed to get information this way. It's been very broken the past couple of years in Call of Duty. I think they try to nerf it a little bit, but if you do it this way, it's actually still really good. Now, the way they try to nerf it, and the one downside is if you ADS and do this, you're going to notice, like I said, the drop shot got nerfed. It's a lot slower, right? So the key to this is you kind of want to do this pretty quickly, and then you want to ADS as soon as you're to the top and kind of shoot. You kind of want to time the ADS like that, and basically that way you're not just ADSing the whole time, but you're ADSing at the right time. Even though there's less movement in Modern Warfare 2, there's still a lot of mechanics that you can use that the pros will be abusing 100%. And you're going to see them in scrims and tournaments using all these things. Now, also, this is going to apply to basically Warzone 2. So these movements in this game that you're going to be seeing me doing and learning is basically going to be you're basically allowed to do it in Warzone 2 on top of MW2. So you definitely want to get better at these things, you know, from snaking to jump shotting mid-air to insta drop shotting. These things are going to be super useful. So make sure to use them. Make sure to get used to them. As always, man, drop that like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what other tip videos you guys would love to see me do, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.